Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you updated your relationship operating system? By operating system or OS, I mean like Apple OS, iOS. You know how their apps and programs can't be used on an Android, and an Android app or program or file can't be read on an iOS. And here's what I realized as I was hitting my head on the pillow last night. You haven't updated your relationship OS, your relationship operating system. There are two primary operating systems which we operate, I realized, and most people operate in overwhelmingly on one type of operating system which cannot compute on the other operating system. And that I want to show you how someone who operates in this operating system which I operate in, thing that really is very effective and efficient and therefore elegant, because the confluence of efficiency and effectiveness is elegance, that the things that people use in the relationship OS on this other operating system, this cannot make sense on this operating system. And once you switch over to this operating system, I want you to transition. I want you to switch to this operating system. And that's been my goal entirely with this program, the Great Relationships University program, and my social media entirely, is that you make that switch so that you become more efficient and effective in your relationship. And here's what it is. Here's what the two operating systems are. The first operating system is entitlement, which is what most people use as their operating system for their relationships. Entitlement. Entitlement, there's several definitions of entitlement. Something you're entitled to, something that is provisioned to you, or entitlement as in something you believe that you deserve as a special treatment. But in the root word itself, entitlement, is your believing that you deserve something strictly based on your title. In other words, because you have the title girlfriend, or because you have the title boyfriend, or because you have the title husband or title wife, you believe that you deserve a special kind of treatment. That's one operating system, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll give you some examples. Now, what is the counterpart to that? What is the other operating system which I want you to transition to? The operating system which I operate in, my relationship OS, is deservedness. You've heard me say before that the central theme of my existence is deservedness. It's because, I'll explain what that means in a little bit, but the reason I have that is because anything you want which you don't feel you deserve, anything you want in life which you don't feel you deserve, you will always fear losing it to someone who does deserve it. In other words, if you find yourself in a relationship where you don't feel you deserve that person, you will always fear losing that person, losing that relationship to someone who does deserve it. Let me give you a different context for that scenario. Suppose you're in a job which you don't feel you deserve. You find yourself in a job out of a whim, or out of a fluke, or out of a windfall, and you don't feel you deserve it. You will always fear losing your job to someone who does deserve it. But the brilliant part to that is anything you feel you deserve, you get an abundance of. If you feel you deserve your job, or let's say politics aside, if you feel you deserve your job, you'll never fear losing your job. In fact, you'll get more and more abundance of it. Abundance of responsibility, because you deserve the responsibility. Let's say you find yourself winning by a windfall, a bunch of money. If you don't feel you deserve that money, you'll lose it immediately. Anything you don't feel you deserve, you find yourself in a relationship where you don't feel you deserve that relationship, you'll always fear losing that person to someone who does deserve it. And here's the funny bit, here's the irony of it all, is that you will take on behaviors to protect yourself from losing the person to someone who does deserve it, deserve her or deserve him. And when you take on this behavior, it will take over your life. You will sabotage your relationship. It will take over your focus, and rather than providing love and seducing the person and meriting the relationship, you will continue working on not losing something. When you focus when you're focused on not losing something, you're on your mind is losing something, losing something, losing something. That's a brilliant trick of hypnosis. So what does it look like? Let me give you an example for you to really grasp this equation. Ladies and men, you're listening to this, and I want to ask you the question, because you're in a relationship with somebody, let's say a sexually exclusive monogamous relationship, or someone has a title girlfriend or title boyfriend, do you feel you deserve special treatment, and do you feel you have the right to sex? Do you feel that you have the right to have sex with them anytime you want? Because they have the title wife, title girlfriend, title husband, title boyfriend. In the entitlement operating system, you are entitled to sex. So anytime you want sex, just because they have a title, which is your partner title, you will supposedly get the sex that you want. Of course, women listening to this, they laugh because no, you're not getting sex if I'm not aroused. But the counterpart is also true. The opposite side to that is that women, pay attention. Just because you're in a relationship with somebody doesn't mean you get to have sex with the man. So men and women, this applies to both of you. Just because you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to recognize that just because you're in a relationship with them, you don't get to have sex with them just because you want. What I mean, you have to turn them on. They have to be turned on to want to have sex. They're not robots. They have to be aroused. They have to be in the mood. Do you understand? They have to be attracted to you. On a previous video, I talked about how when you are not attractive, when you're taking on behaviors and traits which are not attractive, for men, these are four traits. For women, these are 5 traits. If you don't take on those traits, you are becoming repulsive. Or at the very least, you're maintaining affection, which is not arousal. Affection is not arousal. It's not turn on. It's not seduction. It's not turning on your counterpart. So, if you want to create arousal, if you want your partner to be turned on, you have to be attractive. So what is the counterpart to that? What is the opposite operating system to that? The opposite operating system of entitlement is deservedness. This ness, the N-E-S-S, the last 4 letters of deservedness is defined as the state of being. So deservedness is a state of being deserved. To be deserved is to merit the relationship. So to give you an example, when it comes to sex, this operating system says that you're going to have sex with your partner, not because of their title, not because they're your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband or wife, but rather the reason you're going to have sex with that person is because you deserve to have sex, because the sex is merited. Merited means it shows up, it happens because it's deserved to happen. So how do you deserve the sex? Well, you take on the behaviors which arouses the person, inevitably leads to sex. There's a thing floating around here. Take on the behaviors, arouse them, seduce them, make sure they're turned on, take on the behaviors that turn them on, find things that they like, they want, they desire, that turns them on, and do that, and they will inevitably be turned on. So what is have you updated your operating system? Here's what I encourage you to do. Go to greatrelationshipsyou.com. Update your relationship operating system and your communication operating system. The only way you can enroll in the Great Relationships University is through an ambassador. So find the ambassador that introduced you to this video and sign up on their link. And I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye.